Hello everyone and welcome to Be on Reddit. My baby sister called me dad. Original post December 5, 2023. I, male 31, was 20 when my sister 11 was born. Our mom wasn't in a good place physically or mentally, and her father was a druggie, so I took her in and have been raising her ever since. She's legally mine. In certain ways, I've always seen her as a daughter. I feel as though the love I have for her would be the love a father has for his kids. I mean, I watched her grow up and was there for every single milestone. Most would consider me to be my sister's dad, but my sister grew up with the knowledge I'm her big brother, and the reason I take care of her is our mom and her dad can't take care of her the way they should. She got more information as she got older. We are both sick. My sister has chronic asthma, and when sick, her asthma is worse. At like 3 a.m., I heard her wheezing and coughing in her sleep and got her nebulizer to give her a breathing treatment. I had to wake her up to take it. She was half asleep, and when she finished, I told her she could go back to sleep. She mumbled okay. Then as I was leaving her room, she said, "Thank you, Dad." It was quiet, but I heard it. I had a good, happy/emotional cry, and it's getting me teary-eyed just thinking about it. Now for the comments. A Redditor says, "It's your actions that make you a dad, not your biology, and you're definitely her dad." He replies, "Thank you. I've been told that by different people over the years, and in certain ways, like I've said, I've always felt like her dad. Was insane though hearing her call me dad, though even if she was half asleep." OP gives further information on her asthma. "Thank you. Day to day, she's really good at taking her medicine, but in the middle of the night when sick, of course it's going to be more difficult. I actually woke up and felt like something was wrong, so I checked on her to make sure. I'm sure she felt a lot better after going to sleep. If I didn't, she would have really been struggling to breathe when she woke up. I think even if she doesn't outgrow asthma, she will be okay. She's only 11. Doesn't let it stop her. She's amazing at volleyball and basketball and very active." Update December 12, 2023, a week later. For those who didn't see my original post, I've been raising my sister 11 since she was a baby. Well, she's always called me by first name and has known I'm her brother. Well, about a week ago, while half asleep, she called me dad. After that, she went back to calling me by my first name, so I decided to take up advice from some comments. I told her that when half asleep she could call me dad. She looked panicky and apologized. I told her she had no reason to apologize, and I actually wanted to talk to her about it. I let her know if she wanted to, she could call me dad. But she never had to feel forced to call me dad. Like I said, only if she wanted to. She started to cry, and she let me know there had been so many times she wanted to call me dad, and almost has, but stopped herself because I was her brother. I told her we both knew I'd never be just her brother. Plus, a dad isn't always someone who's biologically your father, but the person who raised you. After that, we both cried, but the past few days I've been dad. It's been amazing, honestly, been amazing to hear. Like I said in my original post, I've always felt like a dad to her instead of a brother." OP gives one more thought. "I figured if she wants to, she can. She doesn't have to if she doesn't want to. Who knows what will happen when she's a teenager. But I don't mind that she does want to, and in certain ways, it feels like all my hard work raising her hasn't gone unnoticed. Am I the a-hole for refusing to help my father-in-law with a vehicle?" Original post December 3, 2023. I, 38 female, have been married to my husband, 43 male, for almost 15 years. My father-in-law has never really accepted me as family. He referred to me as my son's wife for the first 5 years of my marriage, and when he convinced us to go halves on a property, insisted on only his and my husband's names on a survivor's deed in case we divorced. In the last few years, he has struggled financially, due mostly to poor choices he made. His wife, husband's stepmom, is much older and has medical problems leading him to choose to work mostly from home. He has traded in vehicles numerous times in the last few years, supposedly trying to lower his payments, but is always upside down on the loans that it doesn't work. He's paying close to $1,000 a month on a minivan. Now here's my problem. My father-in-law is currently trying to guilt-trip my husband into giving him one of several vehicles I inherited. I had two uncles pass away 3 weeks apart during the holidays more than a year ago, and I am still going through the probate process because they passed so close to each other. I do not have the court's permission to do anything with their vehicles yet. He told my husband how much it would help him to have one of the vehicles so that he could let his car go back on repo and not have to make the payments. I may have considered it too if he had waited more than a couple weeks after my both uncles passed away. I was, quite literally, knee-deep in a hoarder's paradise, trying to clean out their apartment within the month to avoid having to pay rent because I couldn't afford it and had no access to their money. Strike 1. He picked out which vehicle he wanted, the most valuable of the 4, rather than asking if he had plans for them yet. Strike 2. Then he asked my husband to give him said vehicle. Strike 3. As a cherry on top, asked my husband again. Still has never asked me to give him a $10,000 vehicle after we pay for all the little repairs it needs, of course. Here is where I might be the a-hole. Do I need the vehicle? No. Could I use the money from its sale? Yes, but I could live without it too, as our finances are better now. Will I sign it over to him? Never. This is far from the first time that man has shown utter disrespect for me, and he can pay for rides before I give him any vehicle. Yes, I'm probably being a little childish. The only reason I hesitate, I actually like his wife and it would help her to some extent. Edit to add. My husband has already told me that the vehicles are mine and I can do whatever I want with them. Since it's been mentioned a few times, he has been bought out on the property and my name added. Edit for clarity and to address the most common responses. My husband acts as a buffer against father-in-law for the sake of my sanity. He has told father-in-law multiple times that the vehicles are not his to do anything with. But the man is intentionally dense. His wife cannot legally own a car as it cannot be registered in her name, no license. I will not loan/rent him a vehicle as I can't trust that he will maintain it. Now for the relevant comments. A Redditor says, offer him the worst for $3,000 or $4,000. OP says, that's part of it. He wants us to fix and give him the vehicle. All of them need at least a few hundred in repairs. He has no interest in paying us for anything. He's just set on guilt-tripping his son. My husband has told me everything from the start and said it's all up to me. My uncles, my vehicles, my decision. Another editor says, so father-in-law set you up to lose out on a property if your SO passed away before father-in-law did? I'm glad to hear you bought him out and that's set now. If you find it in your heart to give him one of the vehicles, then you may be a better person than I am, because I'm not sure if I could, given the history. What if, when probate is set and all, you offer to rent him one of the vehicles? Obviously that isn't what he wants, but you'd get some income but still own it to sell it when he was done with the vehicle? Good luck. OP responds, he would run it into the ground and I would end up having to go get it when he refuses to pay. It's just frustrating because I like his wife and would consider doing it to help her if he would just man up and ask. Instead, he tries to play the poor me card. A Redditor comments info. How does he know what you're inheriting from your uncles? Why does he think he's entitled to any of it? OP responds, he knew my uncles fairly well since they were basically the last of my family. He doesn't really know what the full inheritance is, but the vehicles were the most obvious. He has told him no a couple of times. Every time father-in-law gets tight on funds, he asks again. A Redditor says, not the a-hole, but that said, I would probably sell him one of the vehicles for its blue book value and say pay $100 a week. And if he says anything about it, say that perhaps if you weren't such an asshat to me, I would have just let you have it. Then, if he starts being nice after it's partially paid off, tell him he's good. He learns a lesson and you earn money. OP says, I would never see a dime. He thinks that being the father means he's owed something from my husband and by extension, me. Honestly, even if he offered me full value in cash, I would probably laugh at him and tell him to shove off. Another Redditor says, gift it to your mother-in-law with a lien on it so he can't change to title. OP responds, due to a medical issue, she can't drive and had to surrender her license. That makes it impossible to register it in her name because she can't be insured as a driver. Update December 11, 2023, a week later. You guys asked for an update, so here you go. I've had a long talk with my husband about father-in-law and his request for one of the vehicles I had inherited. I showed him my original post and he got a good laugh out of some of the suggestions, especially the toy car. We have agreed that the only way to handle his constant hints and requests is for me to draft an email to him. For reference, father-in-law loves to send me rude and demanding emails when he feels unheard. The email will not be sent until I know that probate is done and is as polite and civil as I can possibly write it. The gist of the email I typed up is this. I understand that you have been asking husband to gift you one of my uncle's vehicles. Unfortunately, you have chosen to speak to the wrong person. I have told you before that in some things his business is his and mine is mine. The vehicles that you keep asking about are mine. As such, I have decided that they will be sold at a fair market value. The funds will be split evenly into savings accounts for my daughters as a seed for their futures. I already have buyers lined up for the vehicles and will be arranging times for them to be collected shortly. I hope you can understand my desire to ensure that my children's futures are secure, as my uncles would have wanted. I am tempted to sign it as husband's wife, but am undecided right now. Thank you to everyone who commented on my previous post. Your thoughts and support helped me a lot. I was genuinely on the fence as to whether or not I was being too sensitive about everything. You were all amazing and supportive about the entire mess. I just hope that this email to him puts an end to his covert begging once and for all, at least about this. And yes, my husband is behind me 100% and has no issues with my approach. I wrote to my mom after 20 years plus 1 year update. July 11, 2022. Hi mom and moms out there. I lost you when I was 18 and it will be 20 years this year next month and I still feel lost. I still cry sometimes and feel like I can't breathe. I sometimes don't know how to function. Therapy hasn't helped much and no form of outlet helps. I don't know what I'll do when July 20th comes. My boyfriend will be out of town on a work trip and I'm afraid to still ask for help from my friends at this point. Because I feel like I should be over it by this point. I need to know what to do on that day to make it easier. Suggestions welcome. 1 year later, July 20, 2023. Hi mom and moms. I wrote exactly 1 year ago on the 20th anniversary of your passing and at the time I wasn't sure what I was going to do to celebrate you. I ended up spending it with my boyfriend, who you would absolutely love. Had dinner that involved avocados because I know how much you loved those. They were your favorite thing besides small dogs. And we went for a drive past the house you grew up in. Because I coincidentally live next to the city where the house is located. It has a large palm tree in front of it, which I bet you loved. I told all my friends the great stories I remember about you, like how you tried growing your own palm trees, but they kept dying because, of course, we lived in Michigan, which is not exactly the California weather they were used to and can survive, but by golly did you try. At least 6 times that I remember. I also told the stories about how you turned mine and my brother's socks into sweaters for the Chihuahua puppy because he was cold and needed to look fashionable in a green sock. I told a lot more, but those are 2 of my favorite examples. I started a new job which you would be very excited for me. It's half a mile walk from my apartment, so I'm getting all the sunshine and fresh air. I'm keeping busy at it and it's definitely an upgrade from the last job and the people are much more friendly and helpful. I want to call you and tell you all about the new job, about my boyfriend and everything in my life, but I can't. I don't even have your ashes here to talk to them. It's been 21 years, but I think I finally got used to you being gone. Like Grandma always said, You never fully get over it. You just learn how to handle it a little more each day. Tonight, I'll be going to a special dinner with friends. Since the boyfriend is working Comic Con down in San Diego and he had to leave for it yesterday, he said we'll do something when he gets back. Happy anniversary, Mom. Love you and miss you. I don't know if anyone read all of this, but I wanted to get it off my brain. That was the end of the video. Comment down below to share what you thought. Press like and subscribe and click the notification bell for more regular updates. Thank you for watching.